Their size was marvelous and enticing to the eye, those rocks. A boy, a princeling, was with the prince, and he also was a radiant exhibition. The ceremonies were not tedious. The prince strode to his throne with the port and majesty, and the sternness of a Julius Caesar coming to receive and receipt for a back country kingdom and have it over and get out, and no fooling. There was a throne for the young prince, too, and the two sat there side by side, with their officers grouped at either hand, and most accurately and creditably reproducing the pictures which one sees in the books, pictures which people in the prince's line of business have been furnishing ever since Solomon received the Queen of Sheba and showed her his things. The chief of the Jain delegation read his paper of congratulations, then pushed it into a beautifully engraved silver cylinder, which was delivered with ceremony into the prince's hands, and at once delivered by him without ceremony into the hands of an officer. I will copy the address here. It is interesting, as showing what an Indian prince's subject may have opportunity to thank him for in these days of modern English rule, as contrasted with what his ancestor would have given them opportunity to thank him for a century and a half ago, the days of freedom unhampered by English interference. A century and a half ago an address of thanks could have been put into small space. It would have thanked the prince: 1. For not slaughtering too many of his people upon mere caprice. 2. For not stripping them bare by sudden and arbitrary tax levies, and bringing famine upon them. 3. For not upon empty pretext destroying the rich and seizing their property. 4. For not killing, blinding, imprisoning, or banishing the relatives of the royal house to protect the throne from possible plots. 5. For not betraying the subject secretly, for a bribe, into the hands of bands of professional thugs, to be murdered and robbed in the prince's back lot. Those were rather common princely industries in the old times, but they and some others of a harsh sort ceased long ago under English rule. Better industries have taken their place, as this address from the Jain community will show. Your Highness, we, the undersigned members of the Jain community of Bombay, have the pleasure to approach your Highness with the expression of our heartfelt congratulations on the recent conference on your Highness of the knighthood of the most exalted order of the Star of India. 10 years ago we had the pleasure and privilege of welcoming your Highness to this city under circumstances which have made a memorable epoch in the history of your state, for had it not been for a generous and reasonable spirit that your Highness displayed in the negotiations between the Palatina Durbar and the Jain community, the conciliatory spirit that animated our people could not have borne fruit. That was the first step in your Highness's administration, and it fitly elicited the praise of the Jain community and of the Bombay government. A decade of your Highness's administration, combined with the abilities, training, and acquirements that your Highness brought to bear upon it, has justly earned for your Highness the unique and honorable distinction, the knighthood of the most exalted order of the Star of India, which we understand your Highness is the first to enjoy among chiefs of your Highness's rank and standing. And we assure your Highness that for this mark of honor that has been conferred on you by Her Most Gracious Majesty, the Queen Empress, we feel no less proud than your Highness. Establishment of commercial factories, schools, hospitals, etc., by your Highness in your state, has marked your Highness's career during these 10 years, and we trust that your Highness will be spared to rule over your people with wisdom and foresight, and foster the many reforms that your Highness has been pleased to introduce in your state. We again offer your Highness our warmest felicitations for the honor that has been conferred on you. We beg to remain your Highness's obedient servants. Factories, schools, hospitals, reforms. The prince propagates that kind of things in the modern times, and gets knighthood and guns for it. After the address, the prince responded with snap and brevity, spoke a moment with half a dozen guests in English, and with an official or two in a native tongue. Then the garlands were distributed as usual, and the function ended. End of chapter 41.